Jimpgale here, and Brian Hickok and Nick Atkinson. He doesn't get a lot of airtime, but he should, man. This guy is doing incredible work for us. Look at that smile, man. He rocks. So it's Friday night, and the title of this video is Breaking Bad with a question mark, and you can see why, because we're brewing up some pretty interesting concoctions. These concoctions, well, for some in the profit world of big pharma, they don't like this stuff. Because this is the cure, this is the medicine that you can create at home from the seed on up. Brian, tell us what we can do with our yards that will create a massive benefit for us and our families and the whole world.
Yeah, absolutely. What we have here is peppermint. Peppermint grows like a weed. You can have a massive amount of peppermint in a little amount of time with not much effort. It needs to be watered just like almost any other plant. Pretty much a pretty constant supply, like you'd see in the grow towers we got here at the PermaCube. And but we got, as we talked about in our last video, we talked about lavender, rosemary, sage, thyme, and all the Mediterranean herbs. And those are good growers too, so you can grow those in your yard. Think about it. Once you get a hedge of rosemary or lavender, you're going to be able to have an infinite supply, medicinal supply. And this stuff is amazing, really amazing, because it could take the place of all these pharmaceutical drugs. So that's really what we're pushing here at Be Self-Reliant and PermaCube LLC. So I wanted to start with Hippocrates. Jim and I are big fans of Hippocrates. A great quote from Hippocrates is, "Above all, the purpose of a doctor is to awaken the natural healing energies within the body." Yeah. And as Jim said before, let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food. Yeah. So let's get back to that, and out of this synthetic profit pharmaceutical cycle that we're stuck in.
We got to break that pattern, folks, and we all know it. Everybody knows it. The U.S. population is one of the most unhealthy populations in the world, and when you consider the financial situation that we're in, which is relatively good compared to most of the world, it's horrendous to see how sick we are.
Yeah.
Autoimmune and diabetes, and I mean the stats are just off the charts.
To back Jim up, Journal of American Medical Association, back in 2000, July 26th to be exact. You could look this up. There's a study done on just how detrimental and how harmful pharmaceutical medicine is to your body. And it kills over 290 people per day. That's 106,000 people a year.
This is like Rain Man over here with the facts. I mean,
that's a jumbo jet crashing every day, 365 days a year to get that number.
Why don't we hear about that, right? And here's another freaking crazy thing that 90% of you have not heard about. Brian, tell us about the government entity that is for paying out victims of vaccine, people that have been harmed by vaccines. What's that called?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a court that is in place for the pharmaceutical companies. It was set up in 1986. And what it does is it protects all these pharmaceutical companies from any liability for damage from the vaccines. Oh. So a lot of people are like Andrew Wakefield. He's been attacked. He had his career taken away. Basically they threw the guy in the dirt. He's climbing back out now because he's been vindicated. His co-worker went on to be completely vindicated from that. The judge threw out the case entirely and said, yes, there is a connection between these MMR, these measles, mumps, rubella vaccinations, and what it does to your gut and how that affects these kids that are getting into autism. Now, I'm not saying that causes autism, neither did he, but he said it is something that triggers that and brings it closer to that. It's not the only thing. There's lots of things. You know, there's GMOs, there's pesticides, there's herbicides. But vaccines is a direct assault on the body because you're bypassing all.
And how many billions have been paid out? And by the way, folks, you can go on the U.S. government site and you can see this information.
Yeah.
I think it was $2 or $3 billion.
Oh yeah. Well, back in 2000,
that's already been paid out to people who've been hurt by vaccines. My wife got a vaccine last week, and she knew better. But here's what happened: she got forced to have a series of vaccines. I'm telling you what, I'm still pissed off about this. But they said she could, because she's going for her residency. She's Costa Rican, and we're moved here, and she's going for her residency. And they forced her. They said, you will not get your residency unless you get these vaccines. She was not offered the alternative to not have that happen, which there is an alternative, but she was not offered that. She said, oh no, she fought it. She got the shots. She has been sick ever since. She's not the same. She says, Jim, the first 3 days she was in bed, bad. And since then now she's just not the same. She says, I'm not the same since. Now, that doesn't make any sense. Anyway, I don't want to beat that up too much. What we're about is the solution. The solution, gosh, yeah, we could go into that stuff all day long. But what is more important is, what are the solutions, right? The solution is what Brian's teaching us. It is to grow your own. If you're going to have bushes in your yard and shrubs and these beautiful plants, I mean, what can you plant in your yard? What are these things can you do?
Oh, well, I mean, we've gone over the 5 of them in our last video, plus the peppermint. So I thought we'd talk a little bit more about the peppermint today. But there's actually dozens and dozens of, you know, from dandelions to catnip to chamomile. There's a whole bunch of things we haven't even...
Dandelions, guys. Eat your dandelions. These are not weeds, man. They're the best thing in your yard. Lawns are worthless. You know, lawns came about from the aristocracy in Europe, and somebody had this flat thing that they called a lawn. And everybody thought, well, I want to be like them rich people, those royalty people, so I'm going to have a lawn. Lawns are a waste of space. They cost money. They are normally managed by putting poisons on them. It's a ridiculous thing. So start planting medicine. Start planting food in your yard. That is what we have to do to be a sustainable country. And guess what? It's the lowest hanging fruit. This is easy stuff to do, folks. So we're going to turn off the live now, and then we're going to do a video here with Nick behind the camera here. He's going to help us do a video. Woohoo! Woohoo! Yeah! Yeah! Life is good. So check out the next video. It'll be coming out after Nick gets it edited, and should be out here in a few days.
All right, tomorrow.
All right.
Love y'all. Ciao for now.
Thanks for listening. Bye.
Yoo-hoo.